This episode of the Jaking Off Show is brought to you by OG Shenron's Off the Tees Vintage Clothing. If you've ever been thrift store shopping, sometimes you'll find rare and unique items for a reasonable price. At Off the Tees Vintage Clothing, you can find rare items such as a Quiet Riot Christmas long sleeve t-shirt from 1984, extremely rare psychedelic t-shirt designs that you won't find anywhere else, and more. You can look at their whole catalog of clothes at depop.com/OG Shenron, where they also post new and rare finds daily. Go to depop.com/OG Shenron or click the link in the description. You might find something truly off the tees. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Jaking Off Show. It's the first episode of 2021. Oh my god, it's the year of C-Lab. If you don't get that reference, then you didn't watch Adult Swim growing up as a kid. Holy shit. It's 2021. But don't pretend that, oh, it's a new year, it's a new me, it's a new thing. No. This is not a clean slate, first of all. Our slate is still very, very dirty. Very dirty. And we're running out of wet wipes, guys. This is just the beginning of, this is a dress rehearsal of the apocalypse that is to come. There's people that are still contesting the election. The virus has another variant, as they're calling it, that's more infectious. The vaccine rollout has been slow. I'm not at all excited about 2021 at all. And, I know we're going to have to talk about it, but, 2020 is behind us, and this is a year in review of 2020. So we'll start from the very beginning. First rule, let's just never discuss 2020 again. Never discuss 2020 again. Anything that has to do with 2020. Even the good thing. Well, maybe the good things, because some good things happened this year. But we'll break it all down right here. My own personal growth, the growth of the podcast, my stand-up. We'll break down all of it for those who haven't been keeping in touch with me. I'm a bad friend. I'm a very bad friend. I don't call as many people as I'd like to. I don't text as many people as I'd like to. But just here's what happened. January. So on January 1st, 2020, I put out a sketch video called A Day in the Life. Now, this wasn't a day in the life in the couple months that followed, but basically I made a video of me starting my day, waking up in the morning, and then I start screaming. Not knowing that it was going to be the shit year that it was. But the video is, it's me screaming. I brush my teeth, screaming. I'm on the bus, screaming, with the general public staring at me, trying to figure out what is wrong with this man. Working at my day job, screaming. Going to the gym. Oh, screaming. Yeah, so it's basically just me going throughout my whole day, and I'm yelling through the entire time, doing stand-up, smoking weed, reading, writing, video games, watching cartoons, all that shit. And that was the first video I put out in 2020 on January 1st. Now, we had entered the 1 year anniversary of me doing stand-up, and I decided, okay, we've made it this far, a year into the game, and I was one of those like January comics, it's kind of like you start a gym membership, and you do that for a couple months, and then you lower your standards, which is kind of what happened in a way. But I started going harder in the paint in comedy, and I was hitting more open mics. I was booking more shows. I was networking a little bit more. I was letting go of the fear that I have of some of my social anxiety. All that. I was going on mic runs. There was a spot at the Ha Ha. There was a spot at the Fourth Wall. There was a spot at the Cahuenga General Store, and I would walk the whole round. I would I would hit these places. I would do 3 mics in a night, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. I was going hard in the paint, and sometimes even ignoring my health. The podcast was getting a little better. I was about 30 episodes in. I had done some guest interviews that were audio only. I didn't have the camera at the time, or I chose not to use the camera because some of the guests that I have weren't exactly comfortable with the camera. Because also, I was living with a compulsive hoarder that was just collecting a mass of clothes and Disney shit, and she never picked up after herself. She slept in her living room. Her main room was just so piled high with garbage and shit that she couldn't even sleep in there. And it was just all around a bad thing. So, do I want people over to see that? No. It was quite frankly an embarrassment to live there over the past couple of years. So when I would have a guest on my podcast, I would haul out my stuff. I would get my laptop. I would get my microphones. I would get my camera. Or no, not my camera. The camera stayed here at my house. And I would interview the guest, and we would talk for an hour and change about their stuff. And I was really starting to pick things up. I was doing a podcast. I was working. I was doing stand-up. And I was consistent. I was remaining consistent. And then Kobe Bryant died. Kobe Bryant died. We were also like at the brink of World War III, which, in hindsight, glad that didn't happen because we would be piling on, that on top of a global pandemic. But silver lining, I suppose. And Kobe Bryant died. That was a fucking shocker. Maybe he was the lucky one. Maybe Kobe Bryant was the lucky one. And, he's rich. He probably would have survived the pandemic. But, what a precursor to the entire year. Kobe dies, and then a light goes off in my head that, okay, Kobe Bryant was 39, 40 years old, and I'm only 11 years away from that, almost 10. And I'm thinking, international superstar in sports, he's made some mistakes in the past. There was the whole, rape thing. He changed his number, lots of rings, just hardcore athlete, always went hard and always worked hard. And when he died, I thought, hey, I should be doing the same thing. I should go hard in the paint, not in basketball, but I should go harder in life because you never know when it might be taken away from you. And I thought about that real hard. I even did a podcast earlier than usual. I usually do these things on a weekly basis, but he died, and I'd had to do a podcast on that and get my thoughts out, get my tears out. I grew up in LA, and I grew up watching Kobe play basketball, and I only got to watch him play once, and it was such a loss, and then February comes around, the whole town is kind of still sad a little bit. I'm putting in the reps. I'm doing the open mics. I was booking shows. I was networking. And kind of the same thing as last month is just going hard in the paint and just doing it and just keeping it consistent. And I felt like I was on fire. I was doing really well. But the downside of that is that I was ignoring my family and I was ignoring my friends and I was completely selfish in my creative endeavors. It's all I really was making time for. I had stopped talking to a couple of friends that would tell me that they would show up to my shows, and then they didn't, and so I was like, fuck those people. I'm just going to keep doing me. I'm just going to, work hard at this. This is only year 1 of comedy on the belt, and I had been inquiring on booking other clubs on my own. Sal's Comedy Hole, the Springbok, the Sycamore Tavern, and I was trying to get in line to get into the open mic at the Laugh Factory and at the Comedy Store. And the thing is, I have the colitis, so my gut doesn't always behave. So I have to battle the risk of possibly shitting outside like an animal in front of everyone while in line for an open mic, or don't go or don't eat anything. Just drink a bottle of kombucha and that's it. Starve, be hungry, but at least you won't shit yourself. Um, and I was like running on fumes at some point because my whole routine for the first 2 months was go to work, go to the gym, hit an open mic, and I've exhausted myself. I didn't have time to eat anything, and then I'm home to the shithole apartment that I was living in by like 9, 10 o'clock, sometimes even 11, and then you get up and do it again if I'm working the next day. And I didn't give myself enough time to rest. I hadn't had a good night's sleep in about 3 years because my gut wakes me up in the middle of the night, and I always have to like go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and that's not fun. But hey, I'm not getting any sleep anyway, and when I go up to use it, then I'm just awake, and at most, if I'm lucky, I'll sleep maybe 3 hours without waking up consistently. And my health was I was ignoring my health because I was going so hard in comedy. And then March hits. Here comes March. People are getting a little scared. We're not quite locked down yet. I had booked. I was going to do an international comedy contest that was going to be held in Portland, Oregon. I decided to take a week off of work to go to Oklahoma City, where I live now, to visit family. Take a week off. I hadn't taken a week off in maybe 2 years, and I had saved some money. I had been saving money because I had actually planted the seed in my head to move out of my apartment, out of the place I was living. So I had been stockpiling money before the pandemic, as like a rainy day fund to look into other places to live, go live somewhere else. There's some drama outside. That's always nice. Someone screaming about drugs or some shit. We'll cut around that. Anyhow, March hits. That was distracting. March hits. I take a week off. I go see some family in Oklahoma City, and that's when the lockdown started. I had booked a bar gig at the Hideaway Lounge on March 16th, and it was kind of like, are we going to lock down? Are we not going to lock down? What's going to happen? And I spent some time over there, and that's when it starts. That's when it starts. I have about a week's worth of clothes with me, and we're on lockdown, and this is on St. Patrick's Day. I turn on the TV because I have to listen to what the hell's going on, and I'm praying. I am not a man of God, but I am praying. Please don't cancel domestic flights. Please don't cancel domestic flights, because then I'm stuck here with only a little bit of clothes, and then what? And then I can't go back to work, and I'm not making any money, and I can't lose my job. I'm crossing my fingers here, and I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I go to the grocery store with my cousin. She wants me to go with her, and she puts a fucking Desert Eagle in her pocket. And we're going to Walmart because everybody's hoarding toilet paper. We don't know what the hell's going on. The human survival instinct kicks in to go hoard toilet paper for some fucking reason. And thankfully, I'm able to fly back on the 18th, 19th, and it was a ghost town. LAX was a ghost town. I had never seen this before. LAX is a busy international airport, and there were 15 people on the plane back home. I get back late Thursday night, and it's just dead. It's just dead. There's no traffic. It was like Christmas. There's nobody on the road. And I go into work the very next day to find out from my boss, oh shit, we have to not let anybody in the store. We're doing curbside pickup. this was a frozen yogurt store, so the prices were based on weight. However much your thing weighs, that's how much it costs. It was like 50 cents or whatever. It was like 50 cents an ounce or something. And so now we can't weigh the thing. Now we have to come up with a whole different pricing scheme on the fly. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. People are asking us questions like, we're the scientific experts. Like, oh, you can't let people in the store anymore? When are you going to let people back in the store? I don't know. When the shitstorm ends? I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows anything. And it was basically just, the whole quarantine started from there. And my boss was like, hey, I'm going to fire you. You go collect unemployment like yesterday and work with me under the table. I'll give you the tips or whatever, and we'll work this thing out, because everybody pretty much didn't want to work at that point. And I was the only one, because I didn't want to be stuck in that godforsaken, awful apartment. I hated being stuck there. From April, May to June to early July, I was stuck in that apartment. It was Postmates and podcast episodes about the fucking shitstorm that was happening. And I locked myself in my room. I did not go out at all. And I wasn't set on paying, rent. I wasn't set on helping my roommate clean, because she just cleaning up a hoarder's space is exhausting, because you have to throw out stuff. You have to throw out stuff that has no use. Now, she liked collecting things. Now, I couldn't just throw things out. None of the shit was mine. That didn't feel right. So, for April, May, and June, it was just quarantine, just Postmates. I made more money doing absolutely fucking nothing. And I was still working under the table. There was still delivery stuff. There was still Lyft and Uber were still in operation. So I spent a little bit more money just to not take the bus to work. And I was making a lot of money on unemployment because the CARES Act had passed, and I had been stockpiling this money. And, May hits, and then it was like, oh, the George Floyd thing happens. The whole world saw, a police officer kill an unarmed black man. And that ignited a fire in everybody, because everybody had been cooped up in their homes for about a month and a half. And that whole shitstorm started. And I had protested let's talk right now. I had protested the election results in 2016. I was just getting it out of my system. I wasn't thinking oh, it's a fraud. It was just oh, I can't believe Donald Trump won. So that was before I got sick, and I wanted to go out and, be there for my friends and go make noise and go outside and get all that anger out of my system. But I couldn't do that this time around because of my gut problem. I couldn't go out there and really be a part of this movement, because I felt bad about the whole thing. I went dark. A couple of friends of mine had gotten in some trouble with the cops. I sent her some money, and that was a whole situation that wasn't necessary. But all this bad shit was going down. Global pandemic, civil unrest. My shop was getting boarded up. And we were just getting ready to kind of start thinking about opening up again. And we were so close. We were so fucking close. The gyms were closed. I wasn't working out at the gym that I was going to. They had locked up, and they were figuring out what the hell was going to happen. And we were so close. But then this George Floyd shit just came in and beat the shit out of us. And nobody knew where these protests were happening. And so shops everywhere were getting boarded up. There was mysteries as opposed to who is Antifa? Who are these people? Are there riots? Are they protesters? Is it a mix? Now, what I thought was, I thought this was a perfect storm for the average criminal mind to go out and fuck shit up because the cops were focused on the mass gatherings of people protesting in places like Hollywood, other places in the valley, and this gave the average criminal mind the perfect idea. Hey, we're all wearing masks, we're harder to identify, let's go fuck shit up. And I don't think it was like an Antifa thing. I think it was just like, your average asshole that was in a bad spot and they had to just like start, this was the opportunity to start taking shit. Shops were getting boarded up and it was just something didn't smell right. Something didn't smell right and it was time to leave. I was getting notifications on my phone that there were curfews in Santa Monica at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, curfews in the valley at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and just not good. The city was crumbling. There was a small earthquake in the middle of all of that, too. So I was like, okay, we need to leave. We need to get the fuck out of here. This is not good. I've saved up almost 10 grand. This is not happening right now. Called my cousin and went, okay, I'm going to move to your town. I'm going to look for an apartment and we're not even going to look into like, a tour. There's no time. I'm just going to find a spot and I'm going to throw a dart at the map and see what lands. And I was looking around for about a month on apartments. I happened to find this little space right here for a good price. It's across the street from where my cousin's husband works. It's a 20-minute drive to her side of town. So she's around if I need her. She was moving at the same time I was. She was dealing with a terminal mother-in-law, and so she was moving out of her house and into her mom-in-law's house to basically take care of a dying old lady. And most of the furniture that I have is like hand-me-down stuff. Bought some basic. Some silverware, some dishes, a mattress, I got, it's not on the fucking floor. I live in a home now. I live in a place that's clean. I haven't done stand-up in 5 months. It's not completely locked down here. I went back to the Hideaway Lounge because that was the only spot that I knew of, and it wasn't even a comedy open mic. It was a music open mic. And, I remember the guy that was there in March and be like, hey, I'm back. I live here now. I'm not a musician, but, can I do 10, 15 minutes? And, oh, God, it was so rusty. I was so rusty. Oh, man. It felt good. It felt good to peel off the rust because I was bombing hard. I was bombing so fucking hard. It did not feel good. But, when you stop riding for a while, you get a little rusty and you got to put the training wheels back on, And I moved here. I was getting a lay of the land. I spent another number on a used car. I'm getting. I was getting my license in order. Get the ID in order. Get insurance in order. Pay 6 months down on a lease, which I have to re-sign this week. And I'm here now. And I don't think I'm gonna come back to LA. From like July to August, September, October to now was just the big reset. Just start over, I can do comedy somewhere else. I can do the podcast. I can do what I like to do. And I'm still doing unemployment. So I'm going to keep doing that until it doesn't come through anymore. I am starting to dig through my stockpile now to pay month to month. So I should be looking for a job now. I have an agent out here, and that work is fine, but it's too few and too far in between gigs. So I did a couple of extra spots for commercials and a couple of principal roles in like the Bible short film. Whenever that's going to come out, I don't know what that is. The money for that isn't going to come in until I don't know when, but it takes about 30 to 60 days. So that's not consistent income, and film production during a pandemic is going to be slow anyway. So I got to start looking for work. I got to start looking for. I don't really want to work in in restaurants anymore. I want to work in dispensaries. I want to work with weed because I got like the LA street cred, and I need to find something consistent, and the acting stuff will come in, and that's fun. And as long as I can break even on my bills and still do comedy and still do the podcast, I don't care where I live. I don't care where I live. I could live anywhere at this point. And it's been a lot of video games, a lot of long naps, lots of screaming, lots of depression naps, lots of questioning my existence, and I'm getting it together again. And now we're approaching year 2 of comedy. And now we have to reevaluate. I have new goals to set. And if you guys aren't writing down your goals in a notebook, you lost. You lost. You have to do that. I live alone now, and I live in a clean place, so the only thing that stops me is me and what goes on in my mind. Yesterday, I thought about doing an open mic, but I was too depressed about other stuff. I had bombed. I bombed at my first MC gig, and according to my peers, they say I didn't bomb because that was a tough crowd, and it's not the host's job to be funny. There was other drama here and there. If you're on the Patreon, I broke down that whole show, and I just wasn't feeling good about it. And we're coming into this new year. I celebrated the new year the way I've been celebrating the new year over the last 5 years. Alone, in bed, sleeping. I don't go out much. I really don't. This has just been sort of a blessing and a curse. I've gotten to see my friends' true colors. I got to find out who my real friends are. I still keep in touch with a few people in LA, and I call my mom every so often. And it's been wild. It's been wild. And I hope this doesn't happen again. But it was nice. It was nice getting paid to do nothing for a while. And now it's time to buckle down, get your shit together, because my stockpile is going to run out by April or May. So I need to start looking. I need to start looking for some steady income. And I'll let the unemployment ride. I think the House just passed a thing where it's going to be another $300 plus for unemployment benefits until March. And I'll take it. I'm not going to say no. I'll take it. But that doesn't mean that I have to, relax, It was nice doing nothing for basically the whole year of 2020, but it's time to get the ball rolling again. It's time to get the ball rolling again. I've spent half my stimulus, taking I'm going to take the car to the doctor, see what's wrong with her. The fucking tire pressure is off, but I just put air in them, but the sign is still on. The surface engine light is on. I don't know what the fuck's happening. I don't know much about cars. I don't know dick about cars. Thanks, Dad. I just don't know about cars, how often to change your oil and shit like that. And that's been a trial by fire, but thanks to the Google, I can figure that out. And, Google's going to be my dad, because I'm going to ask questions and be like, hey, Google, I have a question about the coolant. What type should I buy, and how often should I change the oil? Yada, 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 need a spare tire. And that's it, and that's that. That was my year of 2020. Ain't nothing special, It was kind of the same as everybody else's, just stuck at home, catching up on whatever's on Netflix. I didn't really have time to watch television. I never put in the time to watch TV or watch any documentaries or watch whatever hot series is on Netflix. I didn't hey, have you watched Game of Thrones? Oh, are you watching the Tiger King? No. I don't have time for that shit. I mean, I had more time than ever to catch up on all what's trending and all that, but I don't give a shit. I'll watch what I watch. If it's about aliens or whatever, I'm down to clown. But I haven't been watching a whole lot of TV. You know, I've been fucking around with Steam and fucking Dragon Quest. You know, I've been biding my time here, but now's not the time to fuck around anymore. Now's the time to pull your socks up and get it together. And here's to 2021. I have a resolution, and that is to get more guests on here. Get people on the podcast that are other comics, either musicians or whatever. I just got to ask them, and that's all up to me, because I'm fucking nervous. And a couple of comics were like, "Hey, I want to be on your podcast." And I'm like, "Oh my God, thank you." Like, you don't know what that means to me. Like, it's just like people want to, spend time, to work on this thing that we're all doing here. I'm navigating through the Stereo app. I'm figuring that out. I'm doing a couple of talks on there. Just put in the reps. Just keep it going. We've taken too much time to reminisce on just the shit year that it's been, and now we gotta send a message. We gotta get out there. It's time to go, man. It's time to fucking go. Let's hope 2021 is a little bit better. But I'm gonna tread lightly. I'm not gonna go crazy or nothing like that. I'm not gonna travel anytime soon. But let's hope this all works out, and I'll see you guys next week. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, or if you're listening on Spotify or on iTunes, give it a 5-star review. Follow the Spotify account and stay up to date on episodes. Support me on Patreon if you want to throw in $1 a month to get early access to my weekly rants about the stuff and the things that go on in the world. I record my stand-up sets. Those back home in LA that didn't have an opportunity to see me do stand-up, now you have the chance to. I record my sets every chance I get. I recorded the Bricktown set, but that was a bomb. I'm not going to give you guys bombs. I want to give you guys fire. I want to give you guys real shit, Good shows. So, I know it's all tight. Everybody's really tight right now in terms of money and all that. And that's why I'm keeping it dirt cheap. That's why it's, $1 a month is all I'm asking you. And I'm still going to put out this stuff. The podcast is always going to be free to listen to. There's never going to be like a charge for that. But I want to make money doing what I like doing. And that's through your help. And for the people that have been contributing continuously so far, thank you. I really appreciate that. It means so much to me, and it gives me strength. Again, thank you guys so much. This episode is sponsored by Off the Tees Vintage Clothing, by OG Shenron, the homie that owns a vintage clothing business down in Melrose back in California. He's sponsoring these episodes. Thank you so much for that. There's going to be an ad at the top of the episode for that. If you skip through that, then you're going to hear it again now. Okay. So, click the link in the description for OG Shenron's Depop store. Depop.com/OG Shenron. You're going to find a bunch of vintage clothing that are rare and unique finds. There's like really cool things. There's psychedelic t-shirts. There's a t-shirt. Nope, it was sold. There was a t-shirt that was a vintage Clockwork Orange t-shirt. That's gone. But you'll find there's rare finds that are posted up daily on the website depop.com/OG Shenron. You guys should check that out. If you've ever been thrift store shopping, you always find something that's truly off the tees. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, like, subscribe, share, and tell your friends. All right. Okay, thanks. Bye.